Good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. I am Chair, Krista Yoakum. To my right is Vice Chair, Commissioner Sean Flowerday. To my far right, Commissioner Roma Amundson. To my left is Commissioner Rick Vest. And to my far left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, you may start with the location announcement.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1 is the minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on December 12th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 1B, approval of the minutes of the Lancaster County 101 meeting held on December 5th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is the claims. 2A, approval of the claims processed through December 19th, 2023. And I'll note there's an amendment to the payroll.
I would move approval of the claims process through December 19th, 2023, with the amendment to include payroll disbursements through December 13th, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the payroll disbursements. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2B, approval of a claim to El Centro de las Americas in the amount of $8,870.40.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this claim. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yoakum.
I will abstain as I serve on their board.
Motion carries 4-0 with an abstention. Item 2C is approval of a claim to the Mediation Center in the amount of $13,000.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claim to the Mediation Center. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Abstain.
Amundson,
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0 with an abstention. Item 3 is a special presentation. 3A, a Commissioner's Award of Excellence for October 2023 to Karen Wedding, Lancaster County Extension Office in the category of productivity. And I'll read the nomination letter.
And you're welcome to come up to the podium while she's reading that.
Karen Wedding, Clerk Typist 2 with the Lancaster County Extension Office, has been selected as the Commissioner's Award of Excellence winner for October 2023. Wedding has worked for Lancaster County for 32 years. She was nominated by Vicki Jedlicka in the category of productivity. In her nomination, Jedlicka states, Karen Wedding consistently goes the extra mile and successfully juggles multiple projects at a time. As usual, this year she took on some larger than usual projects. Karen put together over 500 knit kits as part of the Extension's new program addressing head lice in early childhood settings. She also redesigned Extension's Cultivating Healthy, Intentional, Mindful Educators Chime manual as part of adapting the program for a new audience. While Karen's primary duties are to support 3 Extension program areas, she also assists with general publications and media. She lays out several pages of each Nebline newsletter and helps convert articles to the e-newsletter format. She helps post events to the Extension website and social media. Karen maintains Extension's conference room reservations and schedule, including posting the room schedule on the front lobby display. She also takes turns staffing the front desk and answering phones as needed. With Karen's can-do attitude, she often offers or is asked to help other program areas, including 4-H. She is part of a team effort preparing 4-H's extensive print needs for the Lancaster County Super Fair. At the fair, Karen helps with taking photos and live streaming 4-H activities. For the first time this year, she also helped enter ribbon results into the 4-H database. For these reasons, we are pleased to award Wedding with the Commissioner's Award of Excellence for the month of October 2023.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm Jenny DeBoer, Administrative Service Officer for Lancaster County Extension. Vicki couldn't be here this morning. I just want to say, I mean, Karen is an exemplary employee. I mean, you heard, a variety of things that she does, and she really does have many talents. She's always willing to help in whatever we ask her. There's never the, do I have to do that? She's always like, sure, how can I help that? And how can I figure out a way to do something? So we really appreciate that. She is kind of a go-to person for a lot of stuff in our office. So she does a variety of tasks, and we greatly appreciate her and all she does for the office, and she's definitely deserving of this award.
Yes, what would they do without you? Can you just imagine what would happen? Things would fall apart.
I have had that kind of happen. Went on vacation and got called and said, we can't get this to work. How do you get this? So, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we really appreciate your involvement, your enthusiasm, your innovation, your willingness to be a team player and to do all of it. How long did it take you to make those 500 knit kits?
Probably a couple months, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really something.
And the
Well,
design
I
of
tell
it.
you what, Karen, you are invaluable as a employee. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And we appreciate giving you this award.
Thank you.
That's that attitude, that can-do attitude that was mentioned in the letter seems to be kind of in the culture at the Extension Office, and I really appreciated it. And congratulations, thank you for all of your work. But would you take back, I also want to thank Karen for the nomination. I mean, Vicki for the for the nomination.
Yeah.
Because recognizing your coworkers is also part of that culture, right?
Yep. Yep.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Item 4 is consent items. These are routine business items. They're expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there's an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are approval of amendments to the following county contracts. C-20-0202 with Technion LLC for furniture, installation, and related products and services. C-23-0949 with Midwest Infrastructure Incorporated for the replacement of County Bridge X-129. C-22-0009 with Rickstein Recognition for plaques, trophies, and promotional items. C-20-0039 with Wheelan Engineering Company Incorporated for public safety vehicle accessories, LED light bars, and siren warning accessories. Item 4B, right-of-way contracts with the following: Christopher K. and Crystal Ann Cook, Southwest 128th Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $649. Mark E. and Barbara K. Munt, Southwest 128th Street and West Stagecoach Road in the total amount of $1,298. Todd P. and Cynthia A. Hoyer, Southwest 128th Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $1,027. Kurt B. and Deborah L. Oates, Southwest 128th Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $1,189. Jose Garrido, Southwest 128th Street and West Stagecoach Road in the amount of $379. Jared and Christy Mosier, Southwest 128th Street and West Panama Road in the amount of $2,596. And Lenora J. Menke, Southwest 114th Street and West Princeton Road in the total amount of $704.
Move approval of the consent items?
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. I see no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Item carries 5-0. And then it's been requested to move the public hearing until after new business, at the end of new business, after item 6U.
We'll also move the correlating item under new business 6A to follow the public hearing.
So then we'll go ahead and do 6B, resolution in the matter of designating banks as depositories for Lancaster County for 2024.
Move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6C, agreement with the Greater Lincoln Chamber Foundation to provide a monetary donation in the amount of $12,500 to the county to be utilized for the purposes of financing and development of the convention center.
Move approval. Please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Happy holidays, everybody. I love that sweater, man. I'll probably get one of those from my boys. Bruce Boyer.
This is actually my son, so I'll have that son.
Bruce Boyer, appearing on behalf of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, also appearing here today with Visit Lincoln, or on behalf of Visit Lincoln and the Greater Lincoln Chamber Foundation. It's my pleasure to be in front of you this morning. For the record, in case your transcriber needs some help here, my last name is spelled Bohrer. For some reason, people just don't quite see Boyer in that last name, but to help you out. It's my pleasure, as I said, to be before you in support of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce and Greater Lincoln Chamber Foundation, making a total contribution of $25,000, $12,500 apiece in support of the county efforts, contracting with CSL, or Convention Sports and Leisure Legends, as a development partner for the Downtown Lincoln Convention Center project. As you all know, but some of your viewing audience may not know, the Chamber holds I'm using the statutory language now because we have to put money in the jar at our shop if we say Convention and Visitors Bureau. That's Visit Lincoln now, as you all know. So that's a contribution we're making in support of Visit Lincoln and the Chamber, headed up by Jeff Mall. And as you also know, Visit Lincoln is, of course, all about promoting Lincoln in Lancaster County as a destination and working in conjunction with many partners such as the county, visitor venues and attractions, hotels, Lincoln Community Foundation, DLA, restaurants, City of Lincoln, K-12 and higher education institutions, and our great businesses to attract visitors, events, and conventions to our capital city. The Chamber and our affiliates, along with many others with whom we collaborate, are excited about a new Lincoln Convention Center. We thank each of you for all you've done in support of tourism and now embarking on a process that will deliver a new convention center for Lincoln. The Convention Center is a keystone item under our Vitality Lincoln plan, and the Chamber has been very proud to be part of the state and local efforts in support. Now, with a trusted and well-respected and familiar partner in CSL Legends, we are happy to bring our financial backing to this effort, as we also acknowledge the county's strong support. With the work of the assembled Lincoln Committee and local and state leaders, we are very confident that the Downtown Lincoln Convention Center project is on a good track. That concludes my remarks, and I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
I just want to express my gratitude to the Chamber, the Downtown Lincoln Association, Visit Lincoln, the Lincoln Community Foundation, everyone who's been a part of this. It's been a total community effort, and just thank you.
Yeah, well, it's our pleasure.
And I will second your motion.
Very good.
This is what makes this a great community, is these kinds of collaborations. We have a motion and a second, and I see no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6D, agreement with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce to provide a monetary donation in the amount of $12,500 to the county to be utilized for the purposes of financing and development of the convention center.
Move approval again?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6E, agreement with the Downtown Lincoln Association to provide a monetary donation in the amount of $25,000 to the county to be utilized for the purposes of financing and development of the convention center.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6F, agreement with the Lincoln Community Foundation to provide a monetary donation in the amount of $25,000 to the county to be utilized for the purposes of financing and development of the convention center.
Move approval.
Oh, sorry.
That's
I
okay.
thought I
No,
was gestured up.
we do have a motion, but we would be glad to hear from you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Proud to be here. Alec Gorinsky, Lincoln Community Foundation, GORYNSKI. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So we know that as a community foundation, we have to be where our community is and what's important to our community. And there's just so much energy and momentum and excitement about this. And so it's important for us to be a part of that. And really pleased with your leadership of this particular project. And we at the Community Foundation feel like we're surrounding it in so many ways with team members involved in the committee. We're serving as a fiscal sponsor for some of the resources that are coming through. So anyway, thanks for your leadership and just proud to be a part of the gander. So thank you.
Great. We have a motion and a second, and again, it is these partnerships that make our community strong. I see no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6G, resolution in the matter of authorizing the county board chair to sign an agreement with Alfred Benish and Company for preliminary engineering services related to a federal aid project on South 68th Street, Hickman, Roca Road.
Good morning, Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This item and the item that follows it is, of course, for the 1.3 miles of South 68th Street that are north of the city of Hickman. We're really excited to have the opportunity to improve the entire stretch. We kind of had to follow up with this little piece afterwards, and so this is the agreement with the state of Nebraska for the engineering services for that project.
Move approval.
Second. This is great.
Yeah, it is great for that growing community there. We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6H, agreement with Alfred Benish and Company for preliminary engineering services for a federal aid project on South 68th Street, Hickman, Roca Road. The total agreement amount is $15,433.14, of which 80% will be paid using federal aid funds and 20% will be paid using county funds.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6I, resolution in the matter of authorizing the county board chair to sign an agreement with Alfred Benish and Company for environmental services related to a federal aid project on South 68th Street, Hickman, Roca Road.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This is for the environmental services that are required to accompany the engineering for this project. And I didn't mention in the previous, for the previous contract, that this is 80% funded with federal aid, and so that means that the taxpayers of Lancaster County will only be responsible for 20% of the job.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6J, agreement with Alfred Benish and Company for environmental services for a federal aid project on South 68th Street, Hickman, Roca Road.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6K, contract with Yost Excavating Incorporated to provide Ash Hollow Waverly Channel stabilization. The cost of the county is not to exceed $879,622.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This contract is for embankment and stabilization improvements that are needed in this part of Ash Hollow that is shown just outside of the city of Waverly. I would like to remind the commissioners that this is a three-way split with the NRD, the city of Waverly, and the county.
Move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6L, appointments to the Lancaster County Extension Board for a 3-year term beginning January 2024 through December 2026, and that's Philip Bruce and Regina Sullivan.
Good morning. Good to be in front of you. It's been a while. So, yes, I'm very excited and pleased to introduce you to the twoest new applicants for being on the Lancaster County Extension Board. So we have Felipe Bruce and Regina Sullivan. Both of them have come highly qualified to serve on the Extension Board, and we're excited to have their knowledge and their connection with our community as a part of our board, because we're always trying to, find connections and new services to the members of Lancaster County. So I will, of course, we're here today to ask for your appointment, approval on the appointment to them. They would begin in January for a 3-year term. But I'll ask each of them to maybe say just a little bit about themselves.
Please, we'd love to know a little bit about you and why you were interested in this.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lincoln, of course, and working with the Malone Center, I came in contact with the UNO Extension, so I love the services and love what they do. I currently work for the Education Quest Foundation. We're heading for FAFSA any day now. Also, I've started a nonprofit in my son's name who died from an accidental overdose, and I want to collaborate or maybe complement with another nonprofit in the community to help our youth.
Thank you. Chairperson Yoakum, commissioners and board members, my name is Philip Bruce, and I live in Lincoln. By trade, I'm a cybersecurity professional. I also run a nonprofit in Lincoln, and I've had the opportunity to be involved in the community. Went on a trade mission with the Secretary of State to the Middle East, and planning a few more activities and bringing folks from Africa for a trade visit here in Nebraska, and learn about the Extension Board, and I thought it was a good way to learn more about county business and see what I can learn ahead.
You are both bringing some amazing experiences to the Extension Board, and that will be extremely helpful. So we really appreciate your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I would just add that, as whether it's building a new convention center or putting inputs into young people's lives that will help them get on a good path, it takes the efforts of a lot of folks to do this, and you two joining in with the extension and helping create a better future for young people is very admirable, and I just appreciate that your willingness to take your time and energy and serve. I would move approval of these
And
two.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve these appointments. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Item 6M, agreement with Joseph Higgins, PhD, to perform professional mental health services at the Mental Health Crisis Center.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this agreement. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yep.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6N, agreement with Jose Gary B. Nadala, MD, for on-call psychiatry services for the Mental Health Crisis Center.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6O, agreement with Zachariah Siddiqui, MD, to perform on-call psychiatry services for the Mental Health Crisis Center.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this agreement. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Carries 5-0. Item 6P, agreement with Pinwheel Group to provide its Habilitation Empowerment Accountability Therapy HEAT training to professionals who provide substance abuse treatment and case management services to individuals involved in the criminal justice system.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Kilpatrick with Community Corrections. We're excited to have this opportunity to host this training for our case management providers and for our clinicians.
Yeah, we've talked about this, Jeff, but just this is trauma-informed? Help us a little bit more.
This
with
is primarily focusing on people of color that need to have treatment that's a little bit different than what we would see in our normal treatment providers. It focuses on rehabilitation, empowerment, accountability, and therapy.
Would move approval.
Second.
Great, we have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Yocum.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6Q, Provider Services Agreement with Molina Healthcare of Nebraska Incorporated for administration of Medicare Medicaid claims for services provided at the Mental Health Crisis Center.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6R, designation of official Lancaster County newspapers for 2024 publications of transportation projects as follows: Lincoln Journal-Star, The Voice News, The Crete News, Seward County Independent, and the Waverly News.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6S, setting the salary for Deidre Little, bailiff for District Court Judge Jacobson, in the amount of $74,535, effective December 28th, 2023.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Judge Andrew Jacobson, here on behalf of the salary of Deidre Little. I hired Deidre about a week ago. She comes to me with pretty much the same background as my previous bailiff, who is now our court administrator. She ran a law firm for a period of time, was the general manager of that law firm. She also has worked at the clerk of the district court's office, so she is familiar with the justice system and all of the players within the district court system. So with that experience, I would ask that you approve the salary of Deidre Little.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and good morning. It's good to have you here with us and to meet you.
Thank you.
Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank you
morning.
very much.
Item 6T, request from Brad Alexander, Director of the Youth Services Center, for immediate use of leave pursuant to resolution number R-22-0023.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 6U, acceptance of the resignation of Troy Hawk from the office of Clerk of the District Court, effective January 15th, 2024.
You have to approve this?
I was going to say, regretfully, I move
This is-
approval.
I mean, Mr. Hawk is not here to plead his case, why we should accept.
Why we should accept
I would just second and add that Troy has been just remarkable to work with. He's run his department with great skill, and we know that because we never get any complaints. Things run smoothly as they're supposed to do. This is a big loss for Lancaster County. There will be an application process. We're looking for qualified people to replace Troy, and wish him all the best, and look forward to having someone fill those big shoes that he's leaving. I second the motion.
Yeah, I too want to say that we are appreciative for Troy's service, certainly, to the county. Appreciate all that he's done. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. And then we will return to the public hearing, which is 5A, County Text Amendment 23012 to amend Articles 14 and 19 of the Lancaster County Zoning Resolution and Chapters 2, 4, 5, and 7 of the Lancaster County Subdivision Resolution.
Steve Hendrickson, Lincoln Lancaster County Planning Department, 555 South 10th Street. Just here if you have any questions. We had a briefing on this item previously. So just here if there's any questions.
I did get asked about this. Could you just just tell me generally overall, what does this resolution change for people in the county?
Sure. The primary purpose of it is so that
I'm sorry. We need to stop procedurally. We will now open the public hearing
Then I'll
on
swear.
this item, and you will need to swear in.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? If
I
so,
do.
answer I do.
I do. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself.
And I was slow on the draw, so thank you. So yes, if you would explain a little bit about what the specifics of this text amendment is.
Sure. The text amendment is basically so that for future applications, when they have a local street that is being created, that it would be a private roadway rather than a public street. Any previously approved preliminary plats, CUPs that included local public streets will be allowed to continue with those, but in the future, it would only be private roadways that would be maintained by an HOA. And the primary purpose of this is that it would save public funds and not having to maintain streets within subdivisions. Primarily, that's what we're seeing, residential subdivisions that have this. There's a couple other little minor items that were cleanups that went along with it, but that is the primary purpose of it. It also includes a map that designates the amount of right-of-way that would be required with different subdivisions that come forward as well.
And this affects land outside of the 3-mile jurisdiction of the city, is that correct?
That's right. So it would be outside of the city's 3 mile. It would also be outside of all of the incorporated communities 1 mile. So for instance, Waverly, Hickman, Bennett all have 1 mile zoning jurisdictions. And so this just implicates, changes those in the county's jurisdiction for both zoning and subdivision.
Okay. Good.
Any other questions? Is there anyone else here wishing to speak during this public hearing on this item, this text amendment? Seeing none, we will now close the public hearing.
No,
Was there
that's
something
fine.
else we need to do?
No.
So then we'll move to item 6A, resolution in the matter of County Text Amendment 23012 to amend the Lancaster County zoning resolution and Lancaster County subdivision resolution to require all new local streets in the county to be private roadways.
Move approval.
I'm gonna second this. This came about as a result of conversations we had with Engineer Dingman about the impact it has on county engineering. There's not a lot of miles involved in this, but it's not like this is where operators put their blade down and just go straight down a county road from one end to the other. So it did create costs and expenses on the county at large and challenges for engineering personnel. That's the reason we're making this change.
And it was ever increasing cost too. The problem was only
Right.
ever getting worse too. So, no, I'm fully in support of this.
I am too, and I would also point out there's also, it appears to me at least, been a move in this city as well as in other communities to have more private roads as part of developments.
Yeah.
And so this is not a crazy off the wall
No, it's
idea.
not
It's
unusual,
very
I agree.
common and we're just applying it to this part of the county. So I'm supportive as well.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. We'll move to then item 7 is the executive session.
I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of legal advice, real estate purchase, and potential litigation, which is imminent as evidenced by communication of a claim or threat of litigation to or by the public body, and to protect the public interest at 9:34 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session at 9:34 a.m. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion
We are-
carries 5-0.
We are now in executive session for
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. We'll return to item 5V, new business, and that's been requested to be removed by the county attorney's office. And then we'll go ahead to public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Please sign in and state your name for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Penny Stevens, and I am a election defender. I come here today to speak a little bit more and maybe a little bit of repeat that we've done throughout this past year. I do want to remind everyone that Executive Order 13848 is still in use. Donald Trump put it in motion in 2018, and President Biden has reinstated it twice now. So what is election interference and election fraud? An act intended to alter the course of an election through people's perception or interfere with a candidate's campaign. And fraud is an act which violates the law or gross malpractice with the intention of altering the election results. It's important to note that both are illegal. It's a pretty exciting day, December 19th. For one, today, happening right now as we speak, Georgia Governor Kemp's legal staff has notified the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, that over 17,000 invalid 2020 votes were counted in Fulton County, Georgia. This is taking place right now, so that's pretty exciting. This is the 3-year delta of all those tweets made by our president, Donald Trump. There were 21 tweets made that day. 4 or 5 referenced Space Force being in full operation. There's a reason why he stated it that day. You need to know this. On December 20th was the deadline for anyone to turn in any information on election interference. You need to know they have it all. Last week, John Harold came out with this article, The Illusion of Democracy. It's on his Substack. You can go there and read it in its entirety, and you can read it for free. And I just want to go through a little bit of that. There has recently been a rash of revelations providing us more context to the politically biased censorship activities related to the 2020 election. Much of the recent exposure has come from the efforts put forth by Michael Schellenberger and his team over at Public in what they are calling the CTIL files. A whistleblower has come forward with explosive new troves of documents rivaling or exceeding the Twitter files and the Facebook files in scale and importance. They describe the activities of an anti-disinformation group called the Cyber Threat Intelligence League, or CTIL, that officially began as a volunteer project of data scientists and defense and intelligence veterans whose tactics over time appear to have been absorbed into multiple official projects, including those of the Department of Homeland Security. The CTI League documents offer the missing links to the questions that were addressed in the Twitter files and the Facebook files. And so I encourage you to go and read this in its entirety. One of the things in this document, John brings up Flower Day. And he has in his article the memorandum of agreement that Sean signed. And I'll let you go there to read that. The connection with all of this then is with CrowdStrike, and CrowdStrike themselves said more needs to be done for the election infrastructure. You can read that a couple different ways. In the contract that Sean signed, the third-party provider terms and conditions, the entity acknowledges and agrees.
That is your time. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi, my name is Connie Ranke from Lancaster. Part of that CTCL, we wondered about the nonpartisan voting education. That was 24% of the grant. CTCL provides cybersecurity and misinformation training. CTCL and EAC collaborate to provide counties with free webinars on cybersecurity and election misinformation. Again, none of this was shared in the initial grant. It was just nonpartisan voter education. Based on 2,500 grant reports, election officials sent letters to request $20 billion for this and did receive it, and our county received $400,000. I'd also, and I'll be sharing with you, I did a public records request between the Secretary of State and the Regional Director of Facebook, Janelle Watson. The subject of two of the emails I'm sending to you is the SOS update, labeling voting posts on Facebook. The other one is what they were using to label, which is the subject line is phone call with Facebook crowd tangle. And you'll be receiving this. I just want to read. So this was from Janelle Watson to Wayne Benna, an excerpt of that. Well, this specific label will link to USA Gov site. It does not affect our other products, such as our voter registration notifications that go out broadly in Nebraska. That link directly to your site. This summer, we plan to expand these labels to posts about voting from everyone when we launch our Voting Information Center. In fact, I'll be reaching out to you to talk more about the Voting Information Center soon to get you and your team's feedback as we launch it publicly. The other one on Crowd Tangle. Hi, Wayne. Do you have some time next month to chat with Nicole Sesgo on our Cloud Tangle team about the dashboard she set up for Nebraska? During the meeting, we'll also be covering how you can report any voter misinformation to us moving forward. I've also included slides to her training she did 2 weeks ago as well. Here is your official Nebraska dashboard that you can share with your team. And that was to and from Wayne Benna. and also Andrew Bueller from our Secretary of State's office. Some of the things on CrowdTangle that you can research and track is also this document, Right Wingers on the Rise, Insights from the 2018 Swedish Elections. These are examples of tracking that they can do on this CrowdTangle site. I do not think that our Secretary of State should be working with CrowdSite to be censoring our First Amendment rights. And I would like to call again for an election to be placed on the agenda, election information to be shared in the evening when the public can come forward. And I sincerely hope that you will take this very seriously. Censoring of information is especially on voting, is very concerning. Thank you.
Robert Bohr. Concerning my use of the term scamdemic. Most people suffer airway congestion at some point because they don't know how to take care of themselves. Most people have been brainwashed by Big Pharma and Hollywood as to the cause of that congestion. Creating a pandemic under these conditions is easy when you control the media and certain government agencies. You simply weaponize this common airway congestion with 1, a story of a novel deadly contagion, 2, nonstop fear-mongering, 3, a fake test, 4, novel deadly medical protocols. I never bought the official COVID story for 1 second. My wife and I traveled far and wide throughout COVID and enjoyed ourselves. Everywhere we went, we immersed ourselves in the community while refusing to comply with the idiotic, lawless, unconstitutional, rights-denying bureaucratic mandates. We never got a sniffle, and still haven't. At the height of the scam, we stepped into a popular bar and grill just outside of Branson. Hundreds of people just like us from around the country. Not a face diaper in sight. I asked the owner how he avoided the mandates. He said, "We're just outside city limits. The tyrannical mayor can't touch us." When home, I kept tabs on the nonsense and pushed back. I watched a half a dozen Lincoln police cruisers surround one small business that was deemed non-essential, chained their doors, and prevented the owners from conducting business all weekend. I stepped up to the cops committing that crime against their fellow citizens and asked them how they were able to reconcile their actions with their oath. They said that was above their pay grade. Horse crap. They were just cowards. Those cowards weren't protecting anyone. They were protecting their own paychecks with blind obedience to lawless, unconstitutional mandates. So too with the sheriff. He hearkened to Baird's demand to tyrannize small business operators by serving them with citations for just trying to make a living. The denial of rights was criminal. Baird used jackboot thug tactics to strip small businesses of their livelihood who didn't have the money to fight back, while she continued drawing her big fat taxpayer-funded paycheck. I walked into a Northside bar and grill one evening and was told that I had to put on a mask to walk 20 feet to a table. I yelled across the room, "He wants me to put a mask on to walk 20 feet. That's retarded. I'm not doing that." And I walked out. Give tyrants an inch, they take a mile. I filed FOIA requests with Lopez and Chief Medical Officer Antone for their science. They had none. I knew they had none, but their answers served as ammunition to shoot down the propaganda and fear-mongering. I called the CDC and FDA to ask if there was such a thing as a COVID mask. No, there wasn't. I knew there wasn't, but their confirmation just gave me more ammo. Case numbers were a joke. A case was defined as nothing more than a positive result to a lab test. No symptoms or illness required. The test itself was a complete sham, but Baird pushed for everyone to get it. because without tests, there could be no cases, and without cases, she could not spread fear. Baird was all about spreading fear. She even boosted case numbers by counting multiple positive tests from the same person as multiple cases. Fear-mongering is not leadership. That's someone with an evil agenda. Baird is a cold-hearted wannabe dictator. She also likes giving phony medical advice. She pushed for everyone to get the COVID, this toxic, deadly injection, but wouldn't show proof of getting it herself. In closing, the COVID narrative was military-grade propaganda, a psychological operation conjured up by New World Order psychopaths and implemented by local useful idiots like Ricketts and Baird to isolate, divide, demoralize, and cause people to turn on each other, even to the point of killing each other, if it meant keeping their jobs. COVID was a death cult that exposed the evil in people. People despised you if you defied the mandates, continued to thrive, and told others how they could do the same. They preferred that you live in fear, get sick, and even die. They said as much. We hope you die. The World Economic Forum has to keep the population fighting each other so we don't turn on them. Last but not least, COVID was used to steal an election. COVID is nothing but atheism. Good luck. Good luck with your atheistic religion.
Is there anyone else present wishing to speak during public comment?
My name is Brad Ranke from 1200 North 100th Street. I've got a lighter message, even a more important one. Merry Christmas to all of you. And this is a more important subject than elections. It has to do with the time we live in. According to Scripture, we're in the final moments, maybe the final seconds of history. And there's one thing that you need to know more than anything else, election or anything else on earth, is what your future is going to be. And that's what I want to share with you just very briefly this morning. Jesus, I invite you into this meeting right now. Your peace, thank you for your presence here. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. The most important decision we have to make is, do we believe in salvation or not? What is salvation? And so I want to just briefly share that with you. Excuse me. Very common to all humans on earth is to be born into the world, to continue life with little regard for what happens after life on earth, and then pass from this earth in death. That's in Matthew 7:13. Much less common is for a human to be born into this world, enjoy all earthly life offers, then receive salvation by faith provided by Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, some as they are on their deathbed. That's Matthew 7:14. So I share with you one event. It's a true event from Scripture, and it happened just as people were coming out of, or as Adam and Eve were coming out of the Garden of Eden. As they were coming out of the Garden of Eden, God stopped them, and they had to take off their own covering made by shed blood, made by fig leaves, and then they had to put on a covering made by shed blood. I happen to think that that was the first blood shed on earth. It was before Cain killed Abel. And so he shed that blood, God shed that blood, and it's a picture of now the New Testament Jesus Christ. We have to take off our own righteousness. Our righteousness is filthy rags. And we have to put a righteousness on made by shed blood. His name is Jesus Christ. And so I'm inviting all of you to do just that. I had put that up there. This one is the salvation message on the next page. So all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. and you can pray the prayer there when you're sincere. For the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord, Romans 6:23. Then the next one, you can pray that prayer below there as well too. The first one was Romans 3:23. The next one, God demonstrated his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us, Romans 5:8. And pray the prayer when you're sincere. That if you confess with your mouth Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. Romans 10:9. It said, by grace I am saved. I implore you, I ask, please, pray that prayer with sincerity, because that's what salvation is. It's not being a part of a religion or part of a denomination. It is relationship with Jesus Christ that's so necessary. And the last thing I read is, finally, there's no human that can attain right standing with Jesus Christ by their own effort or good works. And there is no substitution for relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The fruit of the Spirit flows from a born-again child of God, along with righteousness, peace, and joy. If you prayed the above prayer, welcome to the family of God. One last comment, there is no laws, as we've seen, there's no laws, rules, regulations that will hold a man moral. It is only the Spirit of God and the fruit of the Spirit flowing out of that man that saves that man. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak during public comment? Seeing none, we can close public comment.
Item 9 is announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will be adjourned from Thursday, December 21st, 2023 through Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, January 4th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 at 9 o'clock a.m. with the Board of Equalization immediately following in room 112 of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available on Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 13. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. And item 10 is adjournment.
We adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Schulte?
Yes.
Flowerday?
He stepped out.
Vest?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
We will now begin the Board of Equalization meeting for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1 is the minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Please call the roll.
Vest?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Schulte?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 2 are the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls. Please call the roll.
Vest?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Schulte?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 3 are 2 public hearings. The first is protest of notice of taxable status filed by the state of Nebraska.
We will now open the public hearing on the protest of notice of taxable status.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ryan Gilbride.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, answer I do.
I do.
Thank you, and please sign in and state your name.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Gilbride, RYANGILBRIDE. I'm General Counsel for the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services, I just wanted to answer any questions the board may have today on the protest that I filed on behalf of the state of Nebraska.
Tell us a little bit more about the protest, Mr. Gilbride.
Well, the protest is filed because the parcels that are at issue were purchased by the state of Nebraska for a primary public purpose, which is the construction of a new state correctional facility.
I can maybe provide a little more
Yeah,
information
thank you.
as well.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Dan Zig with Lancaster County Attorney's Office. This is one of the more unusual ones I've ever seen before. There's a lot that went on. It was kind of out on the public about what was going on. When we first got this in, we weren't quite sure how to look at it, and so we kind of treated it like we did to anyone else's. Tell us what you're going to do with it. When we didn't get a response, we felt like we just have to kind of treat it like anything else. Based on the information that Mr. Gilbride has provided, as well as some other information from the Department of Revenue, we do believe that it is exempt. It's messy enough, considering the grand scheme of everything and how this is going to work, because we do believe it is exempt at this point. So we would recommend that the appeal be granted, that the exemption be extended to these parcels.
These parcels are the parcels that have recently been purchased for a future, or is this something else?
Correct. My understanding, these are the ones that are west or east of Lincoln, correct?
Correct.
And then there's some talk, and I'm not privy to that, but I've heard rumors of possibly a land swap for the land up off of 70th Street. The problems we look at, that there's crops in the field, but that's also kind of coming to an end, and so considering all the players in this, we feel that it should be considered exempt at this point.
Yeah. Well, and the land swap hasn't happened yet, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the land the state bought to build
correct
prison on. Even if there is a land swap in the future, and that might be in the public realm, fine. But yeah.
So you're recommending
approval
or denial? That's I'm just yeah.
Well, we're recommending that you approve the appeal to make it exempt.
Okay.
Well,
Do you have any other comments following that?
Thank you.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone else present to speak on this issue? Seeing none, we will close this public hearing.
I just want to add, I appreciate all the experience we're getting for Dan here on these new issues.
He's going to spend a lot of time looking at exemptions.
More than I want.
I know. I know.
We appreciate
You're a good sport about it.
Okay, we will close the public hearing on the protest notice of taxable status, and we will move to open the public hearing for the motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
Item 3B are is the public hearing for the motor vehicle tax exemption applications for Great Plains Community Church, College View Academy, Nebraska Wesleyan University, Union College, and St. Mark's United Methodist Church.
This hearing is now open. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on these motor vehicle tax exemptions? Seeing none, we will close this public hearing.
Item 4 is action on the following. 4A, action on protest of notice of taxable status filed by the state of Nebraska.
approval.
Second.
Can we just do move approval? We're approving the protest, so we can do that?
That's
that right?
My understanding is that we are accepting the protest filed by the state.
Great.
Move approval of it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the notice of taxable status. Please call the roll.
Schulte?
Yes.
Flowerday?
Yes.
Vest?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4B, the motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the motor vehicle tax exemption applications. Please call the roll.
Amundson?
Yes.
Schulte?
Yes.
Flowerday?
Yes.
Vest?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to County Board of Equalization business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Is there anyone present wishing to speak on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we may proceed.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Flowerday?
Yes.
Vest?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Schulte?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we